If he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know.
Yeah, I told everybody Terence Crawford's pound for pound #1. Most journalists and writers in the sport have ranked Terence Crawford.
Difficult. He needs to handle and maintain the speed and improve his power. That's what I did. Like, maintain your speed and improve your power.
Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back when discussing a potential showdown between Terence "Bud" Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. According to Roy, Crawford wouldn't just win, he'd crush Mayweather. He believes Crawford's sharp instincts, explosive power, and unmatched ability to adapt inside the ring would force Floyd completely out of his comfort zone. In Jones's view, Mayweather's flawless record was carefully managed by avoiding fighters who could truly test him. And Crawford, he insists, is exactly that kind of fighter, one capable of breaking through the illusion of perfection.
You're leaning towards Crawford, is that correct?
I'm not saying I'm leaning towards him. I love both guys. Both guys are great fighters. Well, I can't say I am leaning toward Crawford. I am. And not because Canelo is not a great fighter, but because I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows about Canelo. You feel me? So I don't know if Canelo is hungry. I know Bud is hungry. Bud stays hungry. I don't know if Canelo's hungry. Bud has never got the recognition for what he deserves like Canelo has. You understand me? So Bud is still hungry for that recognition. When you're hungry like that, a determined man, it's very hard to detour.
Roy Jones Jr. went into detail, calling Crawford one of the most complete fighters of this generation. He praised 5 key aspects of Bud's skill set. First, his ring IQ. Crawford's uncanny ability to read opponents, adjust mid-fight, and set traps effortlessly. Second, his stance versatility. The rare skill of switching between orthodox and southpaw, keeping rivals guessing and off balance. Third, his punch timing and setup, knowing when and what to throw, using feints, jabs, and body head combinations to perfection. Fourth, his movement and angles, fluid footwork that allows him to attack and evade with equal precision. And fifth, his power with accuracy. Not just raw knockout force, but intelligent pinpoint strikes that land exactly when they matter most.
I rank him probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5, just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get. And that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue, because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody. Don't tell me he better than Bud, no.
Jones believes Crawford is operating at the absolute peak of his powers. Undefeated, disciplined, and adaptable, he sees in Crawford a rare blend of speed, strength, and intelligence that transcends weight classes. Whether at welterweight or stepping up to 167.5 pounds, Roy says Bud has the complete arsenal: technical brilliance, composure, and the hunger that separates great fighters from legends. If this truly is Crawford's era, Jones believes he could redefine boxing history and set a new standard for greatness. 4.
As Canelo Alvarez has been a great fighter his whole career, people like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome, and more angrier, and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint, and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me, just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slowed him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then. He got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. You know, Bud got hit with some shots.
He did. He did.
He got hit with some single shots going out. You know, he's going out, and you know Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it.
He smiled about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that smile can be a lie, and sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would.
However, not everyone agrees with Jones's enthusiasm. Critics warn that a Mayweather-Crawford fight could risk tarnishing Crawford's legacy. They argue that instead of chasing history, he'd be chasing a payday, especially since Mayweather's recent bouts have been more spectacle than sport. Detractors also revisit the context of Mayweather's biggest wins, beating a young, inexperienced Canelo Alvarez at 22 and a shoulder-injured Manny Pacquiao in 2015. They highlight Floyd's refusal to grant rematches, leaving fans with unresolved questions. Crawford, on the other hand, has built his resume by defeating opponents at their peak, Errol Spence Jr. and Canelo among them, strengthening the belief that his victories truly represent mastery over elite, in-form rivals.
Floyd Mayweather is still greater than Terence Crawford. We need to really talk about this now. A lot of you guys are putting Crawford a bit too high. If you want to say Crawford could beat Floyd, I'm more open to that conversation, but when you're lining up the careers, I'm going to say Floyd every time. While they're both 5 division, Bud has become 3-time undisputed, but he's only fought 10 world champions to Floyd's 25 world champions. You can't take away the 5 division, 3-time undisputed. In terms of accolades, yeah, he probably gets the nod over Floyd. I say the accolades are about relative, considering Floyd Mayweather won Fighter of the Decade as well. But when you get to the resumes, Pacquiao, Oscar, Canelo, Cotto, Mosley, Castillo, Marquez, Zab, Gotti, Hatton, and Corley. There's probably way more people that this guy just didn't name. And then when you get to Bud's resume, not saying it's just bad, but the only names that's really worth mentioning is going to be Spence and Canelo. It's not a knock on Bud. Bud was not able to make those fights early on in his career. But I got to tell you guys what it is. Bud's resume just doesn't line up with Floyd's. Take their top 20 wins. Bud don't even got 20 wins to really sit here and name. Floyd got a good 20-something plus. Bud probably got about 10 wins that we could really sit here and name. Floyd's still greater than Bud in my opinion.
Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather's relationship is a mix of admiration and rivalry. While both acknowledge each other's brilliance, their egos often clash. Roy proudly points to his dominance across multiple weight divisions, while Floyd holds up his undefeated record and financial empire as proof of superiority. Their verbal sparring intensified when Roy dismissed Mayweather's TBE, the best ever, label, calling it disrespectful to past legends. In response, Floyd criticized Roy's late career losses, implying they diminished his legacy. Their feud isn't about facing each other. It's a battle of pride, legacy, and who truly deserves the crown of boxing immortality.
What's happening, fight fans around the world? I know how y'all are. I know y'all enjoy this thing of boxing. I know we play games and people have their issues and people have opinions. Cool too. I got opinions and I'm allowed to say my opinions or speak my opinions. And if somebody was trying to send me a subliminal message, it worked. Because if you want to prove that you're better than me, I'm always ready. Wide open. Ready to go. Come.
Jones often clarifies that he doesn't disrespect Mayweather, but he stands firm on his opinion. He believes Floyd's claim as the best only holds true in the business sense, not in pure boxing greatness. To Roy, Floyd mastered the financial side of the sport better than anyone, but that doesn't automatically make him the greatest across all eras or styles. Jones insists his statements come not from bitterness, but from honest evaluation and conviction.
Is there something that you want to elaborate on, or is there something that maybe you don't like about Floyd?
One thing I don't like is that you don't respect elders. You talk about Muhammad Ali got beat by an 8-0 fighter. That 8-0 fighter was an Olympian who was a monster, who, if you had a monster like that in your weight class, you wouldn't fight him at that time. You understand where I'm coming from? So, that being said, you're disrespecting the greatest fighter of all time. And if you disrespect him, you disrespect anybody. So you have no respect. But when you see me, you're gonna have some respect. Because if you wanna get it, we can get it. I'm willing to go earn my respect.
But I didn't hear you say anything disrespectful about Floyd.
I never do. I'm not the disrespectful type of guy. That's not who I am. I'm the type of guy. The reason I'm not disrespectful is because when I say something, I'm ready to die for it. So if I say this, I'm willing to die for this. You understand me?
You stand on it.
I stand on it. You understand me? I'm not, like I said, I don't think LeBron is not a great player. I'm not one of the greatest players of all time. But if you ask me, in your opinion, my opinion, which I'm entitled to, you think LeBron and Mike. I'm gonna say Mike because I saw what Mike went through to get where he got. So I got my own reason why I'm gonna probably like Mike. I'm not saying just you're trash. No, you're not. I'm not saying you're not a great player.
Right.
I'm not saying you're not one of the top 5. Because you could be that. You feel me? And in most people's opinion, you probably are. Some people's opinion, you probably top 1. That's not, I can't say, oh, I'm right and everybody's wrong. No, that's just my opinion.
Right.
I'm entitled to my opinion. Right. But I will fight about my opinion. Right. So if you got a problem with my opinion, whoever, call my house. It ain't changed.